Let's break down now the latest Todd McShay NFL Draft Big Board. Todd stepped away from ESPN for a little bit, but now he's back, and he has a new top 32 prospect ranking. So we'll go player by player and break it down, react a little bit. At number 1, to the surprise of nobody, Kayvon Thibodeaux. I have no complaints with most of these early rankings. It's pretty obvious right there. Number 2, Derek Stingley. Incredible in 2019. Banged up the past 2 years. I don't have him at 2, but I think he'll be a top 5, top 10 prospect pretty easily. Number 3, Evan Neal. I think the premier offensive lineman this year. I like Evan Neal a lot. Again, I think the top 5 here don't really have that much room for debate. It's a matter of how you want to order them. That 5 grouping is pretty damn great. At number 4, one of my guys, Kyle Hamilton. The dude is built like Derwin James, and he runs like Earl Thomas. He is a 6'3", 210-ish free safety. Those guys don't really exist very often. So Hamilton, safeties don't go early very often. This is going to be one of those exceptions. I think he's going to be an impact superstar defensive back in the NFL. So Thibodeaux, Stingley, Neal, Hamilton, then Aidan Hutchinson out of Michigan. His stock has gone way up this year. Thibodeaux, Stingley, Neal, Hamilton were all kind of viewed as pretty much surefire first-round picks entering this year's season. Hutchinson, not so much, but he has been an awesome player for Michigan, plus his teammate, who we'll get to here in just a little bit, a very strong athlete, highly productive edge rusher out of Michigan. This is not Taco Charlton. This is a better prospect than Taco ever was coming out of Michigan. I'm a big fan of Hutchinson. I would not be surprised, given the premium often placed on pass rushers, if Hutchinson is closer to being number 2 overall than number 5 in the actual draft. So those are the top 5, I think, right now. The ordering is up for debate. So who do you think is the best prospect? I do think it's Thibodeaux, but I want to hear from you, the people. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down to the comments, it's the very first question you'll see, and let me know which prospect you think is the best this year. Number 6, Charles Cross out of Mississippi State. Massive step up this year. The traits were there last year, but he has taken from being, okay, maybe he breaks out this year too. He broke out and then some. He's going to be an early first-round pick. This begins the run on wide receivers and inside linebackers. 5 straight prospects here by McShay. Garrett Wilson, number 7. Ohio State's got some absolute ballers at receiver. Wilson, I think, has the best upside of that group, at least of the draft-eligible ones. My boy Drake London checks in at number 8. I love him. He's kind of a mini Mike Evans. I'm a bit surprised that he was 8. I'm not that high on Drake London, but I love him, so no problem on that one right there. How about an inside linebacker? NAKOBE Dean out of Georgia. If you're a linebacker in round 1, you better be able to cover and or pressure the quarterback. Dean can cover, folks. So a bit early for me because it's the positional value, but he's a baller. Number 10, Jahan Dotson, as there's a bit of a Big Ten run here, kind of early on that one. I like Dotson a lot. He's a good football player. I think he makes Chuck look a lot better than what he actually is. 10 is a little bit high for me, but I do think Dotson in the end ends up going at some point in round 1. Got a special deal for you this holiday season. NFL hoodies are 50% off. For whatever team you're a fan of, they've got something for you guys. Head over to chatsports.com/NFL hoodie. That link will be in the comment section and in the description. All right, you got Seahawks, Vikings, all the favorite NFL teams. Whatever team you're a fan of, they got one for you guys. By the way, I love the heathered look, that little, not camo, but kind of looks scattered across with the gray. I think it looks incredible. 50% off these when you go to chatsports.com/NFL hoodie. All right, Devin Lloyd next up here, another inside linebacker. Not as productive this year as NAKOBE Dean, but he's not playing for Georgia. So it's, different level of talent around him. Number 12, DeMarvin Leal out of A&M. Kind of a weird prospect to an extent. more of an edge rusher for A&M, but I think will transition inside to more of that 3 technique, that defensive tackle role in the NFL. Little bit worried it's too much of a Solomon Thomas situation where exactly do you play him? But I love Solomon Thomas, so I'll probably fall in love with Leal as well. Our number 2 corner, at least I should say Todd McShay's number 2 corner, Kaiir Elam. Great speed, great burst. Interception, 5 PBUs this year despite battling some injury, 13 pass breakups last year. He's able to get his hands on the ball in some capacity. That's a big deal for Elam. Our first quarterback now, Kenny Pickett out of Pitt. I don't think there's been a single prospect this year in the entire NFL draft process who has helped his stock more than Kenny Pickett. He has gone from maybe he ends up getting a Senior Bowl invite and he becomes like kind of a day 3 draft pick, carves out a maybe Kirk Cousins type career as a day 3 pick to he has had 36 touchdowns against 6 interceptions this year. To put that touchdown figure in perspective, Pickett has thrown for more TDs this year, or has thrown for as many TDs this year, as he has in basically his entire career. He's got 75 career, 36 this year. That's insane. By the end of the year, he will have thrown for more TDs this year than his previous 3 years. That is a nutty stat. Now, this is just one of Todd McShay's quarterbacks on this list. Do you want us to do a future video on Todd McShay's top 10 quarterback rankings? Because he did put that out. If you want that, type me in the comments section. Let's let the bosses know you want that here on Chat Sports. I love the inclusion of Jameson Williams at number 15. The Ohio State transfer has balled out. He has been an incredible playmaker for Alabama. He doesn't get a ton of round 1 buzz. I think he should, though. I think McShay was right to put him on here. His old teammate, Chris Olave, number 16, about as smooth as they come as a route runner. It's kind of crazy that Ohio State has Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave this year, had Jameson Williams before he transferred this season, and as a likely first-round pick next year in Jackson Smith in Jigba. That playmaking at receiver, it's like Alabama levels. So of the 3, Ohio State, I'm cheating with Jameson, of those 3 receivers, who would you rather draft? Really no wrong answers here, but type in JW for Jameson Williams, GW for Garrett Wilson, or CO for Chris Olave. Number 17, George Karlaftis, right about where I think he should be. I do have some questions about, being a true twitchy athlete. Maybe he's more AJ Epinesa, but I like Epinesa too. He's a good football player. Someone's going to take him fairly early. Quarterback Malik Willis here. Oh, man, he is such a gamble. The upside is there. He could be a bust, too, if he doesn't get the processing and the accuracy sorted out. So teams will love him. You just got to be patient. I am surprised to see Tyler Linderbaum solo. I think McShay's got some concerns about his power and strength. But as far as center prospects go, the dude's a baller. He doesn't get beat hardly ever. Yeah, he's not the heaviest guy, but he plays with enough power. Great in his own scheme. If you want your center to pull, which not that many can do effectively, Linderbaum is your guy. Offensive tackle from Ohio State now, Nicholas Petit-Frere. Again, no issues here. I think 20 is a touch early, but once you get to the top 16 or so, you're kind of picking your favorites of guys that could go top 20, could go top 40, somewhere in that range, so I won't nitpick too much there. If you guys want more NFL videos and NFL draft videos as well, subscribe. This is your one-stop shop for all your NFL draft videos this offseason, and I want to do more of them. So help me out by subscribing right now. Jordan Davis out of Georgia. If you want a run stopper, this is your guy. He is a clogger in the middle. Listed, not quite this big, but we'll allow it. 6'6", 340. Whew. He doesn't have great pass rush ability, but I think it's enough that he's going to have value in the NFL on all 3 downs. And if that's the case, much like a Vita Vea, a Daron Payne, you take that guy in round 1. Roger McCreary out of Auburn, a bit flying under the radar. He's a good press man corner, which always boosts the value of those prospects. 12 PBUs this year. The ability to play press man is not easy. McCreary can do that. That will boost his value. Number 23, Kingsley Enagbare out of South Carolina. He is still a little bit raw, inconsistent. This is kind of more of that upside gamble. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it does not, but teams will always bet on the traits because you can't find guys that move quite as well as Enagbare at his particular size. One of my favorite prospects, Treylon Burks out of Arkansas. He kind of plays the big slot role, but he does it so well. Now, he didn't show up quite as well as hoped against some of the better competition, although part of that is, you're playing for Arkansas. Teams at receiver are able to take you out a little bit more frequently than maybe other positions. But I'm a big fan of Burks. I like him here being in the top 25. Who is your favorite NFL draft prospect? I didn't say best. I said favorite. So not your number one overall guy, but the guy that you just like a lot. Let me know in the comments section. Number 25 out of Michigan, David Ojabo. We mentioned how Kenny Pickett has blown up. Ojabo wasn't really on radars this year. He has skyrocketed. A ton of sacks, a ton of hurries, forced fumbles. He's got 5 this year. Very quick, very athletic. He may or may not go pro, but if he does, he very well could be a first-round pick. Quarterback time, Matt Corral at number 26 here on McShay's big board. I think he's been better this year. My concern with Corral, because he's got a good release, he's tough, he's mobile, he's got a solid enough arm, he's a bit undersized. If it's not the first read, he hasn't been asked that much to fully process. He has benefited a little bit like how Sean McVay helped out Jared Goff. I think Lincoln's done some of that for Matt Corral, but good OC, I think he can have some success right away. Sauce Gardner at number 27. I don't need to say much other than his nickname is Sauce, and he plays corner. I'm in. All right, number 28, Bernard Raymond out of Central Michigan, a former tight end who is now an offensive tackle, so I'm sure there will be Lane Johnson comparisons from that perspective. Still raw, but the upside for a 6'7" athletic offensive tackle is quite high. From now, TREY McBride, the tight end class getting some buzz here. Colorado State. He can go for 1,000 yards this year. That's kind of where what we are trending to with TREY McBride, as good as he has been this season. I like a lot of what he's able to bring to the field. I don't know if he's a true round one guy. It's tight ends. It's tricky. He's at, I believe, 927 yards as we sit here filming this, or somewhere in that range. He gets to 1,000, I think, at some point very, very soon. Small school prospect, Trevor Penning out of the University of Northern Iowa. Again, small school guy, might need some time, but he's got big size, good power. NFL teams love that. Tight end number 2 on this is Jalen Weidermeyer out of Texas A&M. Nice size. He can block a little bit too. This is a bit early for me, but tight ends are tough evals because college teams can't use them, although I will say TREY McBride's been used pretty damn well. Number 32, Zion Johnson, who, and this will help him, has played both guard and tackle. Now, I think there is some power stuff to be adjusted through technique in particular, but as a late round one prospect to keep an eye out for, one we have not mentioned at any point, I think, before on any of our draft stuff, it's a good name here by McShay. Some others to watch. I will say this. I think not putting Ikem Ekwonu on this list is an oversight. Frankly, he should be closer to 5 than 35 on any big board. Andrew Booth, a great corner, at least a promising corner, but they went light there, so I'm fine with McShay. Kenyon Green's been up and down, but I like him. Georgia got like 18 prospects on defense this year, which the math does check out somehow. Traven Walker's one of them. And I like Drake Jackson. Not everyone does, but I remain a big fan of his.